Centuries ago, in the 1700s, when the Industrial Revolution first began, many saw it as the beginning of man finally harnessing machines to better help production. Throughout the revolution, ideas of division of labor were being popularized even more, and railroads were being built across nations to increase the ease of transport from place to place. Along with this outbreak of efficiency came a monumental havoc that was immensely overlooked. That detriment was all the negative environmental effects that the disposal of energy caused. In the beginning of the Industrial Revolution, companies were oblivious to the harmful effects that these things caused to the environment. Long ago, when harmful gases were released into the air from a smokestack, or tubs of oil were accidentally spilled into a large body of water, nobody thought twice. Just another accident, no big deal. Because of the lack of concern to these hazards, using methods of burning fossil fuels to produce energy became very popular since it was so efficient. This instinctively became the overwhelming majority of where the world's power came from. These habits continued for centuries throughout the Industrial Revolution until today. But nowadays, people know the harmful effects of these practices and what they have in the environment. People know that releasing gases into the atmosphere destroys it, and it accelerates global warming. People know that polluting bodies of water with oils or other toxins can kill fish, and second-handedly other organisms too. Considering how harmful fossil fuels can be to the environment, and how they can potentially make Earth an uninhabitable planet, it would be logical to think that mankind wouldn't make a similar mistake again. Sadly, that is not the case. From 1895 to 1945, nuclear fission was being highly developed. By 1954, countries had already started using nuclear energy for power. This is another major disadvantageous factor for Mother Nature. Nuclear energy is basically fossil fuels 2.0. This is a way of harnessing energy by splitting the atom that is not only more efficient than fossil fuels, but more expensive, more harmful, and more dangerous. Over the last couple decades, there have been numerous nuclear disasters. One example is the Chernobyl nuclear plant on April 26, 1986. A faulty experiment in one of the facility's reactors caused the top to blow off, releasing fatal contaminated substances into the air. 32 people died from direct effects of the disaster, and countless more received harmful burns. The radiation that escaped the nuclear facility was several times more than the radiation produced from the bombs on Nagasaki and Hiroshima combined. Millions of acres of farmland and forest became contaminated. A nearby residential area became uninhabitable for 150 years, and 150,000 people would have to be permanently relocated. Those effects don't even begin to describe how harmful the disaster was. It doesn't even touch on the long-term or global effects. Even taking things like this into account, nuclear power still supplies 1/5 of all of Earth's power today. There's a global effort to increase the amount of renewable energy, but it isn't being as taken seriously as it should. The US government still spends more money on nuclear weapons than it does on renewable energy. That just seems like a large step in the wrong direction. Countries shouldn't be concerned about expending nuclear waste, monetary resources, and thousands of workers on protecting the nation's foreign affairs. Countries need to put the beef aside and work together to focus on the real issues. If the Earth's atmosphere were to spontaneously dissipate, it wouldn't matter what the US's foreign relationships were. Everyone would be dead within seconds. However, these issues don't only rely on help from established governments. Large corporations can also face a big role in the help of the environment. Just 100 companies are responsible for 71% of the world's emissions. Most of these companies are coal mining companies or oil extraction companies. For Earth to be in a better state environmentally, these companies shouldn't even be relevant anymore. These jobs and money used to mine coal should be used building wind turbines, solar panels, water turbines, or on other renewable energy sources. The argument may be raised that renewable energy isn't efficient enough to sustain all the energy being used daily across the world. That may be true at the moment, and it may take a long time to manufacture these renewable energy sources, but that is just an upfront cost that humans need to make today in order to make for a better tomorrow. What other, more popular and larger companies can do to help the environment is just save energy. The amount of energy consumed by warehouses or factories of major companies like Apple, Microsoft, and Amazon is unfathomable. Take a look at a company like Amazon. Amazon has over 100 sortation and fulfillment centers across North America where they sort, package, and ship products. Each of these facilities are acres large and use tons of energy. If Amazon could just save $500 worth of energy a day at these warehouses, which is small considering the sizes of these things, they could save $50,000 a day across every facility, and that's over $18 million a year. On top of this, they would be using less energy, in turn not needing as much fossil fuels to be burned and saving the environment. If every corporation could do things like this and invest the saved money into renewable energy sources, Earth would have a very bright future. And this isn't a shot at Amazon. Most of these establishments are doing as much as they can to help the environment. Amazon themselves have solar and wind energy sources that produce millions of megawatt hours of energy annually. These corporations are doing a lot, but any more effort into helping the environment is for the better. The habits of saving money can also translate to the smaller level as well. The average American household uses 911 kilowatt hours of energy monthly. If people do the little things, and remember to turn off the lights or turn off the TV, and can manage to bring that down to 900 kilowatt hours a month, things could change drastically. Multiply the 11 kilowatt hours saved by 125 million American households and 12 months in the year, then Americans can save over 16 billion kilowatt hours a year. Small steps like that can make big strides in the long term. Now, the last topic that should be discussed is how much time is left. If no efforts were made to reduce fossil fuel emissions and reduce energy, when would humans experience the fatal effects that the dying environment could cause? One article claims that carbon dioxide concentration in the air could increase so much and cause breathing ability to decrease by 21% at the year 2100. On top of this, ozone smog could increase by 70% around this time and result in the death of 2 billion. So as it turns out, humans might not have as much time on this earth as one may think. This issue is urgent and should be focused on immediately. This doesn't even consider the effects that waste such as plastic can have on the environment. That is a totally different, but just as serious problem. And all of this is just some food for thought, so humans can work today for a better tomorrow.